of Successful Living. We're here at the Greenwood campus at the House of Reconciliation. We started a little early to share some of our announcements with you. We're going to begin on or go more further into our winter series, 2021 Purpose Over People. Just a couple house cleaning things. We have the 3 for 3 to give. It concludes this month, and we will take 3 months off. And that includes successful giving. You can give through our Cash App. You can give through Giveify, or you can go online to houseofreconciliation.org, and you can give that way. And what it is, we have 3 things that we're supporting the last 3 months: the Greenwood Food Bank, the Adopt a School program. If I am not mistaken, we have Hodges Elementary School here in the Greenwood County. That is not the only one we plan to work with. And also we have Baker's Chapel in Greenville, South Carolina, that we are supporting. And then we have shoes and clothes for Haiti. And so we're going to be trying to package up some things and get some things out to people for the holidays, so we hopefully that they can start the new year off correctly. So if you'd like to give $3, $30, $300, $3,000, even $30,000, 100% of your donations will go toward these ministries to help and support the things that we do in the community and for the community. So we thank you in advance and thank all of those who have helped and contribute on a monthly basis. We want to just take 3 months off from the campaign and come back in April, but please don't hesitate if you want to give monthly. I was talking with some people and found out that you can please, we don't want to drop the hat or the tool on youth building blocks. That is for our youth in reading, learning the fundamentals of reading. That is still going on. You can check our social media pages for information on that. And then we still have opportunities in flag worship leaders, as well as musicians and media team. And I like to develop a mind ministry. There are some other things that we want to have in 2022: event planners, program directors, a team director, and of course, since we are still not finished with the pandemic, we want to go back to inviting and encouraging people who are watching the broadcast. I was at the second, well, I don't know if you want to call it second or third ministry on Sunday, and was totally overwhelmed with how many people that watch and rewatch and repost the broadcast. So I am thankful and grateful for your support. I ask if you would go to houseofreconciliation.org. Please join the virtual campus. If you want to support the ministry, please do, because we are trying to grow. We have great things that we want to do in 2022 in order to serve the Lord's people. I think that's mainly what I have on that capacity. I want to share with you this evening a thought. We were dealing with the Winter Series 2020, Purpose Over People, dealing, accepting, and understanding my own reality. And when that happens, the first phase of the series that we were dealing with is Purpose Over Me. And we're halfway through that, and we're headed to, we were dealing with self-manipulation. And we're going to head to people manipulation. But at this moment, the scriptures that we're going to use is still Proverbs 11:1. And we're going to give you another scripture, James 1:8. We began talking, it kind of came about through this metaphor. If you can answer and pass every test in your life with your feelings and emotions, then it's truly not the test of change. Too many times people are responding and acting out of their past pain, their past hurt. They're reacting still to the day when dad left mom, or mom left dad. Many of us are still reacting out of anger because of childhood failures, reject, or neglect. And these things, whether you or I, has shaped us to who we are today. But who we are today is not, in many cases, who we were meant to be. We still haven't closed those doors and begin to seek God and find out and discover who we are. So we kind of got to this self-manipulation that I'm literally cheating myself out of who I really am. I'm not building me. I have things, but I'm missing my eternal, internal building blocks. So then we said, real change, we can call it a chrysalid, we can call it a germination. Real change comes when the things that God has given you, which is a term they use called innate. Your intellect, your intelligence, that birth spiritual insight, spiritual foresight. It takes pain, failure, experience that turn into wisdom. The decisions that you and I should be making going into 2022 should not be decisions of getting even and getting back or to prove anything to anybody. When you and I decide to do this, now we're opening up the creative spirit that God has given us. This is why some of us have struggles in our dreams, and I'm going to address them. Struggles in our ideas. Because many today are still sitting on a sinking ship. What does that mean? Still have the attitude that think anger or playing the victim or being silent. All of these things create bodies in the basement. And sometime when God comes along and gives you and I an aha moment to know that we need to bury some things and that to bury some behaviors and some people, and we need to change our attitude. We need to look at our behavior, because attitude affects behavior, behavior affects focus, and focus affects and infects discipline. So I use this term, me versus me. And I said this, while you and I are sitting on the pity ship, the broken ship, many times we're replacing the work and development of God in a person's life, and we are rescuing them from God correcting them. See, parents now most of them don't allow their kids to play outside. They play with electronic games and all of that. When you were outside, many of us are older. We got scars on our knees because we climbed that tree and mama told us not to climb it. We got a cut on our elbow because daddy told us not to be over there playing by that sticker briar bush. And so the pain of those experiences have shaped us today. Now our children and grandchildren are not being shaped by experiences. They are being influenced by artificial intelligence. So this is why we use the subject, if you don't jump, it'll drown you. And we came to this point, self-manipulation. Many people right now in the month of governmental order, this is the month that you and I and others and the virtual campus and the Greenville campus and to our global partners should be solidifying what principles, what budgeting, what goals that we plan to achieve in 2022. Here's the problem. Most people are trying to survive it rather than prepare for it. Most people are still struggling. So we look at this, the topic tonight is going to be a divided mind. Proverbs 11:1. A false balance is an abomination unto God. James 1:8. It talks about a double-minded man, woman, person is unstable in everything they do. See, we don't realize you get that attitude with a person, you're going to have an attitude with everybody. You suspicious and sneaky, you're going to be suspicious and sneaky with everybody. You cunning and manipulating, it's going to come out because that's how you have allowed your mind to be programmed. And take note, that's how you have allowed, not God. You have allowed what you've heard and what you've seen and what your pain is to shape the sneaky, undermined person that you are today. And God has sent some opportunities your way, my way. God has sent a man in your life, a woman in your life. He sent a job off in your life, but you were so full of you. You know why? It didn't look like what you wanted. See, you looked at the wrapping of the paper and not the value in the paper. You looked at the exterior of the person. So you shut them off and shut them out. Then you stand back and ask God, well, what's going on? Why am I not there? And God said, I sent it. I sent a telegram. I sent a messenger. I sent a friend. You still holding on to something that's no longer around. A divided mind. What does that mean? I want something that I am not mentally and spiritually prepared to receive, but I want it. Ask me, what does that mean? Then all you would do is make it clutter like everything else in our lives. You won't learn from it. You won't grow from it. It won't become an asset. It won't become a tool. It won't become a principle. God sent it. God has not left you and I void. He hasn't. We've ignored his indicators because you thought it was coming in a wrapping. This is the biggest reason that Israel had a problem with the birth of Jesus, because he wasn't born in a kingsmanship. He wasn't born with soldiers in an army. He wasn't born with a father that was a king or a mother that was a queen. He wasn't born in a palace. He was born in the manger where they had cow manure everywhere. And they didn't want no king born through no carpenter. His daddy was a nobody. His mother was a who? How many things have you and I missed that God was literally sending our way? How many messengers that we turn away? How many indicators, how many seed bearers came and gave you an idea that you threw away? And sometimes somebody else's idea can be your blessing because you show them how to work it. Hey, bro, you don't know how to, let me do it for you. Let me handle this part. You just do what you do. Let me do what I can do and watch us both get down the road. No. You know what our problem is? We like those people that like to argue because we like to fight. We love that. Oh, come on. I wish I was at Thanksgiving with some of you. Y'all were probably talking so loud they could hear you 3 houses down. And you wasn't even fussing. You just talking. Because one talk loud, the other one talk loud. Then the other one talk louder. Then somebody come out the back room and hollering down the hall. Come on, don't nobody want to talk to me now. when you could have sat around and worked on an idea, a divided mind. Can I show you one of the things that people do? And this is part of people manipulation, but it also affects us. One of the greatest challenges is trying to balance and recover at the same time. See, because we don't like to be seen weak. Now, I'm able to say this, and I know it'll probably bother some people. There are certain ethnicity groups that have a Recovery Monday every Monday, or at least once a month. And then there are certain groups of people or ethnicities that have nothing. Have the highest rating of alcoholics, drug addicts, obesity in their community, but address none of the issues. But then there are other groups that have Recovery Monday, where they can go and get assistance and the psychological repairing of the human mind. See, when you think you're perfect, you feel like you don't need any help. And sometimes it pays to be able to talk to someone. There's a new app out. I don't want to give them credit unless they're going to support what we do. And they say that the opportunity to get healthier is done psychologically over diet. See, sometimes our issue isn't physical. It's mental. Mental health is critical. But nothing can happen if we continue to ignore it. This is how we get bodies in the basement. It's how we get denial, brokenness. So here's what it says. One of the greatest challenges is trying to recover and balance at the same time. Proverbs 11:1 says a false balance is an abomination. So when we're out of order, what does that mean? When we're out of order, when we're out of sync naturally and spiritually, we're out of sync with God, because God believes in communion and harmony. A false balance, pretending. See, some people think their attitude can fix and deflect everything. The power of silence, not answering to anybody. Come on, y'all. Everybody need to know my business, what I'm doing. They don't know who I be. Jesus know who you be. And some of the people you turning down and rejecting are the people that can help you. Then when you get out there and get clotheslined by life and not know the term of non-liquidatable funds, you can put $100,000 in an account. And that was a gentleman, he and his daughter was there with a group of attorneys and a mediator. And he had like $400,000 to $500,000, and he was 80-something years old. And he needed these funds to continue to keep his lifestyle. But he had put them in an account that was non-liquidatable. The money was there. He was getting the dividend. But see, what we got to do is know how to go to the finish line, because that's a culture and a language that we're not familiar with. Because we more worried about fried pies and mac and cheese, and who big lip Sally going with, and where football head Tommy, who he liking, and who his baby down the street, and Uncle Tom drinking wine, and did he make the moonshine for the holidays? This is the stuff don't y'all look like that? This is stuff we worry about. And so we keep putting this money in this account, and these people keep getting these commissions. And so she's sitting there with her father, and they're saying there's nothing we can do. Now, mind you, let's just do a little mathematics here. He paid $85 to $150 per share, per stock of this company. But this company only released 0.5% every 10 or once a year. And you have to know when the window is there to put in, then it's only a certain amount of the people that's in the wonder that can receive a certain percentage of their money back. Now you can stop paying, but that don't change what you put in. And so at 85, he couldn't get a dime out because of one word: non-liquidatable. And he would be dead for centuries. Because once you reapply to get your money, don't y'all look like that. Don't stop investing. You just got to learn how to ask the right questions. Okay? Don't be coming back here with all your money at the bank. Then Cletus done robbed you. Cousin Cletus done robbed you at Christmas time. All your money in the mattress in the backyard, under the tree, 10 steps to the left. Oh, no, don't do that. But because you don't get all the details. And this is where a village and a community and being around people who talk and think and live the way you want to live. I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to offend some people. Stop being around people that you're the big fish in the little pond. If you know everything, you're in the wrong room. You need to get around people who bring a different aspect and skill to the table. And their skill and their knowledge will help round you out. The days of being a king and a queen and you know everything, I'm done with that. You get around people, that's where you want to be. If you never had a garage in your life, you won't know how to let one up or let one down. You literally got to get around people who have a garage. Now that's simple, but that's true. Because a divided mind. And see, we don't want to accept that I'm in a point, in a place in my life that I'm recovering. This is why I commend those other communities that have Recovery Monday, bereavement classes, to help people restore and repair and recover their life. So the question becomes, one of the greatest challenges is trying to balance recovery and balance. See, when you finally recover and you get balance, you're exhausted. And this is really when you should start the preparation stage of the next phase and the next chapter of your life. And neither you nor I can do this if we continue to be double-minded and we continue to blame other people for our own misfunctions. It's not your friend, it's not your spouse, it's not your family, it's not your children, it's you. You want other people to give you ideas so you can disagree with all of them. It's a little rough this evening, isn't it? I feel like I'm at a funeral and the dead is the only people in the room. But it's okay. If this is what it takes to get us through here and make us think, then that's what I have to do. Because see, here's the thing. If you cannot prepare, here is where we're stuck. Anybody would like to shoot at this word? I'll give it to you because you ain't been talking to me since we've been on. Is you have to be aware of the declassification that others tag you with. See, declassification, when other people, other groups, other organizations put you down and they don't even know you, that's declassification. That's something or someone judging you based on what they see. They've drawn a conclusion about you, and they drop you off a cliff in declassification. And once they declassify you, guess what you do? Anybody want to take a shot at that word? You misrepresent yourself. Once people declassify you, then you absorb it, and now you misrepresent who you are. And so when you misrepresent who you are, you have just created a false balance. Can I take it a step further? Because you're happy to be there. You happy they let you in. You're supposed to feel in your spirit that you belong there. And you are not the only one. You have no right in God to hold your head down. God didn't create you for you to hang your head. So other people have declassified people. And in that, you lost your identity, you lost your inheritance, you lost your integrity, you lost your place in God. God, nowhere in the 39 books of the Old Testament and the 27 of the New Testament, God ever told you to hang your head. When God made humanity, he looked at it and said, you are good. And let me tell you right off the bat, he made you from the dust of the earth. So why, if everybody is made from the same dirt, that they are better dirt than you? And when they can get you to believe that declassifying yourself and declassifying your whole community and declassifying your whole family, they have won. Because you don't know who you are. You don't know who you are in the natural, you don't know your heritage, you don't know your culture, and you don't know who you are in God. Because you know what? Here's what happened. You look to people, and when you look to people, you lose the direction of God. God didn't give you that gift. God didn't give you that talent. God didn't give you that anointing for you to stand around and declassify it. God didn't give it to you for you to doubt. He didn't give it to you for you to draw back. So here's the things. To begin, now after you have recovered and you're trying to balance, now God says to you, I need you to go prepare. You know where this takes me? To the 5 wise and the 5 foolish. They all heard the same message and interpreted it a different way. How will you interpret this learning, this teaching, this information moving forward? You can take it a whole lot of ways, but how you take it will determine where your destiny is. Because what happens is once you begin to awaken And it's a great challenge to know that you have to go into a chrysalis. It's a great challenge to know that you have to go from crawling. And so what happens is people get with people who are just like them. You don't need to get with anybody just like you. You need to get with people that are almost there to fly, so you'll have some motivation. If you get with people who are crawling, what happens when you get up? And what happens if they get up before you quit crawling? You know what it's called? Unequally yoked. See, I don't seek power over people. I seek communication and relationship with people. I don't seek authority. I don't seek lordship. God did not give me a level of anointing to lord over people. What he gave me was to educate, inform, and lead people. I am not a leader that will dominate you, but I am one that will be a provocateur and rub you. Somebody told me the other day I'm like sandpaper. Somebody laughed on that one, like, yeah, you gonna get them rough edges. But here's the thing. We keep misrepresenting ourselves because we're locked into what people say rather than follow the direction of God. And this is where media can be bad. Media can show you everyone else's success but yours. So media can hypnotize you through sight. Media also can hypnotize you through hearing. So you think the police are supposed to be in your neighborhood and community all the time. You think you're supposed to work a low-end skilled or low-skilled job because that's for you. They don't ever show you at the bank. Misrepresentation, declassification. So then psychologically it says to you, well, I ain't supposed to be there. Now, let me get real. And it's going to rub some people the wrong way. And people say, oh, there are certain things, there's no this, there's no that. Well, let me be the one to pick out your Santa Claus this year. Let me be the one to pick out your baby dolls this year. Hello? Let me get you some ethnicity dolls, some Asian, some Pacific Islands, some Hebrews, real Hebrews. Let me get you a Puerto Rican Santa Claus. Let me get you a Santa Claus from Afghanistan. Let me get you a doll from Guadalupe. If it don't matter, then why are they not in your house right now? But it's okay for you to get them. It's okay for your children to have them. Oh, I have somewhere I'm going with this. Because what you see is what you believe. And what you see is what you'll worship. But what you see is you don't realize is playing a game in your mind. Because you're never going to see yourself on top. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. If I can load everybody up that's watching this broadcast, I could take you to a kitchen right now where downstairs they got your people. They got a statue of them. But your people, you can figure out who it is. Y'all do what y'all want to do. This is your mind. I'm going to work on that in about 30 seconds. But I promise you, it ain't your people that's getting the money in the cash register. Remember I told you somebody asked for your recipe? I guarantee you don't bake no pies. They're going to mash it and bake it, and they're going to put their name on it. Miss Clarabelle's sweet potato pie. You be down here cussing in the church. He done so gave my recipe away. No, listen, I'm telling y'all, somebody better work their hand and work their gift, because in 2022, if the Lord don't kill me, I'm going to work mine. But don't get mad. I said this several years ago. Don't get mad when I get blessed now. Don't be giving me the finger. It ain't the finger, it's the finger. I'm just trying to wake you up. I'm trying to awaken your mind. Because here's what you got to be aware of. When people start declassifying you, that's a way of manipulating your inheritance. Because I'm going to ask you something. There is a program. I can't call their name. But they always are getting things of praise on this program. And they always say, oh, this is the 4th and 5th generation that we have had this in our family. Y'all have seen those? Have you seen anybody like you on there saying this is the 5th generation that? There you go. I see y'all eyes going down. You don't see? It's worth $200, $300, $400, $1.2 million. So then they take it and get it insurance and get an appraisal and they go pay for the kids' college. What your people got? A bucket from the outhouse? Yeah, this broadcast ain't probably for some of y'all tonight, because it's a little salty, but it's true. I didn't call no names, so however you let your imagination go with you, that's on you. I'm just speaking the truth. So what was left in your family? What could you take and have it appraised and say, this came from my great-great-grandmother? They came from Paris, and my great-great-great-great-grandfather gave it to his son, and they passed it along. Now it's worth $2.9 million. And it's only 2 of y'all left in the family. And you can go get it insured and put a lien against it and pay off some stuff. What do you have that you can take and get appraised right now? You who I'm talking to, that's who I'm talking to. You with your big lips sitting on the couch. You with your beady eyes, I'm talking to you. Yes, I'm talking to real people who are looking for a real direction. It's not a race, it's not a color, it's not an ethnicity, but if the shoe fits, I want you to buckle it on and get ready, because we got to make changes in 2022. And those changes don't start with talking about other people and killing out them. That's stupidity. It's talking about getting yourself together. Getting off your butt. Stop misrepresenting who you are. Stop worrying about what people say about you. They talked about Jesus and hung him too. You got to realize and write this down. I've got to get my space back. Because here's what happened. You get locked into how people want you to respond, and what people say you can and can't do, and what people say you're allowed and not allowed to do. You have to get past that. And you have to follow the direction that God leads you. And you need to get under leadership that will challenge you for you to balance yourself in God. You need to be under strong leadership. You need to quit going to those places that tell you how great you are and tell you how good you are. You need places and a place to go that would challenge you to become what God has designated and the gift that God has given you. You don't need another prophecy in your life. What you need is a reaction to the prophecy. That's why I said before we came on that we need to tell people you can go join the virtual campus. You may be in Australia, you may be in China, you may be in Hong Kong, you may be all over the world. In Africa, we've had contact with people in Africa who wants us to come, but you can be a part of this ministry. And if this ministry has to bless you, then support this ministry by liking, sharing, and posting, and see and pray and seek God. Bless this ministry so it can be a blessing to others. Anybody here trying to get rich? People hate me because I'm down to earth. They think I should have on a preacher's collar and have on a robe and do all that stuff. For who? I told someone today, they were like, well, you know what? I said, listen, my ministry is for the one that's sitting out there that's sitting on their butt not doing nothing. My ministry is for the unsaved, the unchurched, the lost, the confused, the identity crisis, the hungry, the broken, the homeless. That's my ministry. Saints, super saints, just I'm on my way to heaven and so glad. I thank God for all y'all preachers and all that y'all do, but that ain't my call. My call is to help reach the world and help people turn around, because if you turn around, somebody else will see the God in your life. That's the ministry God has given me. I don't want to be no king. I don't want to be, titles don't mean nothing to me. Now, I went to my home church Sunday to make sure I had what I had when I was 8 years old. And when I went in there, I found out I still had it and had some more. It's a shame when you make old people shout in wheelchairs. But that's the kind of anointing that God will let you borrow, because it ain't mine. That's why I ain't got no big head. I ain't got to worry about having no big ego. All the stuff I done been through, I'm just happy to be inside the church. Homeless and broke. So here's the thing. I'm going to give you these and I'm going to let you go. Watch out for these enemies. And this is going to sound crazy, but I want you to not think. I want you to listen and write. Number one, mind your mind. What does that mean? There are some things that you're going to have to dig out of your mind that will change your attitude. Mind your mind. It's like when they're digging for coal and digging for diamonds, they keep digging until they get it out. There are some things in you and me that we have to get out so there's room for God. Don't think you perfect. I spoke with my sister on Sunday and she said something and I said, well, you know, it don't have to be that way. God does not have to afflict you like he did Jacob to become Israel for you to be okay. Mind your mind. Get that doubt out your mind. Get that fear out of your lifestyle. Get that victimization off your life. Get rid of that so God can begin to work in you, because it's going to take a time for you to balance. That's going to take time for you to recover, and you're going to be exhausted. You're going to be tired, and then God's going to say, go prepare. Then after you prepare and the seed is planted, it's got to germinate. So you got to stay with it. Some of y'all had ideas, you had dreams. You ain't went back to that field and looked at your prayer and looked at your dream, and you ain't dug around it and cleaned it and watered it. You got to keep it in a clean spot so it can begin to germinate. Mind your mind. Fight yourself. Quit being a victim. Quit worrying about your ethnicity and get up and do something in life. Leave a mark on life. Build your legacy. Where there's some small child in a third world country will read your story of how you had a gift and you didn't even believe in it, but people kept encouraging you and you finally caught on and it worked. That will inspire them. You still can inspire people from the grave. Build a legacy. You don't need another pair of shoes. You need the best of you. Here are some things. When you mind your mind, these are some of the things that's going to come in. These are going to be indicators. So if you're going to write this. This is going to be indicators. They're going to start out with dreams and ideas. And you're going to start seeing vision. Now, what you can't do that you did the last time, is you quit. That's when you're minding your mind. You're getting rid of the things that hindered your inherited gifts. You get past your ethnicity. You get past the stumbling blocks in your family. You walk out on fear. And you introduce yourself to faith. You're going to walk out on fear. And the first thing you're going to meet is faith. Faith and wisdom are going to put you in the room to take your dreams, your ideas, and your vision. And what it's going to do is going to show you how to put a plan together. And when you put that plan together, you got to get another team to help you put a strategy together. And when you put a strategy together, you're going to have to write the process. And when you write that process, now you get another team and you take action. And when you take action, understand up front, there's going to be a few modifications. But here's what's going to come after that. Execution. Now, to some of you, that's a book. If you take this right now and plant it, because the last 4 things I'm going to give you are troublemakers. Here are the troublemakers that's coming when you start to do this. It's 4 of them at least. You know who they are? Illusions. Your body and your mind are going to want to go back to old behaviors. So it's going to start you to having illusions, which is a false narrative. If it can get you again in the New Testament where when one wicked one get in, he goes back and gets 7 others, then you're going to start imagining stuff. You're going to start imagining your failure. You're going to start imagining nobody's on your team. You're going to start imagining that everybody's against you. You're going to start imagining that pastor don't like you. You're going to start imagining that he's got picks and favors. You're going to start imagining that the people in church don't want you. You're going to start imagining that it's better to be by yourself and with yourself and at home by yourself. You're going to start imagining. And once you start imagining that, the next friend that comes along is hallucination. To where you're going to see people that you know that's a part of the faith and a part of the growth. And all of a sudden, you're going to have a conversation in your mind when you ain't never had a conversation with that person. They didn't even speak to me. Look at them. Who they think they are? All I've been going through. And number 4 is hypothetical thinking. And that's going to lead back to being a victim. You're going to feel like everybody else is wrong but you. These are the troublemakers. None of them are real in real time, but they're real in your mind. And so everything that you've done and every step that I've given you, can I tell you the only thing is missing out of this plan is your application. Is you applying yourself. Wealthy people use the same kind of plan. Billionaires use the same kind of plan. Because you know what happens? When you have a plan and you understand it may have to be modified, you get around people who see the value in what you're doing. You and you and you and you are going to have to change your company in 2022 if you are to maximize what God has given you. God bless you. I'll see you soon.